Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Today is Thursday, the 6th day of June 2024. This is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission broadcasting from Ankara in the 16-meter band between 1230 and 1330 UTC on 17620 kHz to Europe. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trtdinle.com through Radios link and under the VOT Radios Expandable section. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr. Following the news and the review of the Turkish press, the Voice of Turkey will present our feature programs and some music. But first, the news. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said 150 journalists have been killed in attacks on the Gaza Strip in the past 8 months, adding those who lecture us on press freedom remain silent in the face of incidents in the Palestinian territories. President Erdogan addressed the 8th Anatolian Media Awards ceremony in the capital, Ankara. Erdogan continued to voice his reaction to the Israeli attacks that have continued in the Gaza Strip since October 7th and claimed the lives of more than 36,000 Palestinians. It is our humanitarian duty to the people of Palestine to react to this insane situation which tests both our humanity and faith. When we defend our Palestinian brothers, we are in fact defending our humanity as well as peace, justice, and many freedoms, he noted. The Turkish president also said that while they oppose the massacres, they aim to leave to future generations a legacy of hope, of living in a more peaceful and fairer world. We see that those who have been lecturing us on press freedoms remain silent on the incidents in the occupied Palestinian territories. Those who act like the three monkeys toward genocide won't be able to remove this disgrace all their lives, he noted. The president of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, is currently in Turkey for an official visit. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan will welcome the Uzbek leader who arrived in the capital Ankara last night with an official ceremony scheduled for today. The two leaders will initially hold bilateral talks, followed by the third meeting of the Turkey-Uzbekistan High-Level Strategic Cooperation Council. This meeting aims to enhance cooperation between the two countries. It is expected that agreements aimed at deepening cooperation between Turkey and Uzbekistan will be signed during the visit. President Erdogan will also hold a joint press conference with his guest, President Mirziyoyev. Furthermore, President Erdogan will host an official dinner in honor of President Mirziyoyev, strengthening the ties between the two nations. The visit signifies the commitment of both Turkey and Uzbekistan to strengthen their bilateral relations and explore avenues for further cooperation in various fields. In a significant development amidst the ongoing conflict, Ismail Haniyeh, the political bureau chief of Hamas, has conveyed a stance of readiness for potential negotiations aimed at securing a comprehensive ceasefire and facilitating the exchange of prisoners with Israel. In an official statement released by Hamas, Haniyeh emphasized the organization's commitment to negotiations imbued with the resolute representation of the people's will and the heroic spirit of resistance. Haniyeh's remarks underscore Hamas's proactive and serious approach towards any prospective agreement centered on the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Gaza Strip and the subsequent exchange of prisoners. Meanwhile, reports indicate that the Hamas delegation in Doha, Qatar, has concluded discussions with high-level officials, including Qatar's Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani and Egyptian intelligence chief Abbas Kamel, as part of ongoing negotiations for a potential ceasefire in Gaza. U.S. President Joe Biden mentioned in his speech at the White House on May 31st that Israel has proposed a new ceasefire plan consisting of 3 stages. In a diplomatic gesture amid escalating tensions in Gaza, Russian President Vladimir Putin lauded the proactive efforts of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, recognizing his influential role in the region, global affairs, and the Islamic world. Russian President Vladimir Putin, during the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum at the Lahta Center, met with top executives of leading news agencies and stated that President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has made significant efforts regarding Gaza. Considering Erdogan's authority in the region, the world and the Islamic world, we expect his contribution to be noticeable, Putin said. Blaming the United States for the Israeli attacks in Gaza that have been ongoing since October 7th, Putin stated, "We believe this is a result of US policy. They monopolized the solution process. They pushed aside all previously established tools for collective efforts to solve this extremely challenging issue." Putin, addressing the situation in Gaza, remarked, "What is happening in Gaza right now does not resemble a war. It resembles the total destruction of the civilian population." He emphasized President Erdogan's significant efforts in resolving the issue and added, "We know that President Erdogan has been making effective efforts to solve this very urgent and long-standing problem. Considering President Erdogan's authority in the region, the world and the Islamic world, we expect his contribution to be noticeable. From our side, considering our long-standing relations with Israel, we are ready to do everything Russia can to resolve this situation."
Continues on the English language broadcast of the Voice of Turkey.
Russian head of state Vladimir Putin said they might use all means at their disposal if the sovereignty of Russia is threatened. Putin answered questions from directors of news agencies on the sidelines of the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, SPIEF, at the Lakta Center on June the 5th. Stressing that the war with Ukraine that has continued since 2022 should not escalate into a nuclear war risk. Putin said for some reason the West believes that Russia will never use nuclear weapons. "We have a nuclear doctrine. If someone's actions threaten our sovereignty and territorial integrity, we consider it possible for us to use all means at our disposal. This should not be taken lightly." Deeming some arguments that said Russia would attack NATO as stupidity, Putin noted, "Have you all lost your minds? Who came up with this? It is complete nonsense, you know." The Russian leader also said the American administration has been putting pressure on Ukraine to lower the mobilization age in the country to 18, adding after that they will get rid of Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky. The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, warned Wednesday against severe child food poverty amid world crises, including in Gaza. 5 rounds of data collected between December 2023 and April 2024 consistently found that 9 out of 10 children in the Gaza Strip are experiencing severe food poverty, surviving on 2 or fewer food groups per day, UNICEF said in a report. It said months of hostilities and restrictions on humanitarian aid have collapsed food and health systems, resulting in catastrophic consequences for children and their families in Gaza. This is evidence of the horrific impact the conflict and restrictions are having on families' ability to meet children's food needs, and the speed at which it places children at risk of life-threatening malnutrition, it added. The report also revealed that around 181 million children worldwide under 5 years of age are experiencing severe child food poverty, making them up to 50% more likely to experience wasting, a life-threatening form of malnutrition. Children living in severe food poverty are children living on the brink. Right now, that is the reality of millions of young children, and this can have an irreversible negative impact on the survival, growth, and brain development, said UNICEF Executive Director Catherine Russell. Children who consume just 2 food groups per day, for example rice and some milk, are up to 50% more likely to experience severe forms of malnutrition, Russell added. UNICEF also called on all governments and development and humanitarian partners to act to prioritize actions to end child food poverty. And sports. 17-year-old Mira Andreeva was the talk of the French Open tournament on the 11th day after pulling off a stunning win over world number 2 Aryna Sabalenka. World number 38 Andreeva came back from a set down and advanced to the semis for the first time in her career with 7-6, 6-4, 6-4 win. Sabalenka was having some issues on the court and had to take a medical timeout on 2 separate occasions. Andreeva will now play her next match for a spot in the final against Yasmin Paolini. who also recorded an upset on Wednesday by defeating world number 4 Elena Rybakina in 3 sets. And that was the news brought to you by the Voice of Turkey.